Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Guile Treatment. I don't think there's been a ton going on this week yet. We're still in a bit of a lull, but we do have some stuff that basically starts up next week. We got the PTC in Pocoson. If
Pocket
anybody's
gaming, right?
free, I highly encourage you to come out to that, especially if you're on the East Coast. It is a holiday weekend in basically like a beach town, so it's a little tough, but they have a pretty good play group. A nice store. It'll be fun.
Pocket
Um,
gaming, right?
yeah, Pocket Gaming Pocoson.
Okay.
I think they actually do have like some other stores nearby. Like they kept talking about like the Jersey guys, but that was like a store. It wasn't
Oh,
people from Jersey. I don't
okay.
think.
There are
Um,
players in Jersey. I've sent
Well, the thing
cards to them
is, so they have
before.
like this weird sort of dynamic where they kind of have like two stores, and like the people at Pocket Gaming seem like they are pretty easygoing and indifferent, but it sounds like the other store is sort of like a little more like we don't want
Oh,
our people playing in other events. So
sure. That's
I
lame.
don't know. I think they have like a touch of that in Indy because they have like three stores. So I
Oh,
feel like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like a little bit of a rivalry
Yep.
between like, well, I play at this store, but I don't play at that store.
Let me
Blah, blah.
tell
It's like,
you about that. Did
guys,
you?
this
Are you
this
in the?
game is not big enough to have sort of like petty rivalries between like stores that are in driving distance. Because
Oh,
like, go
let me tell
play
you something.
wherever you want and play as often as you can. Because come on,
There was a thread in the Indianapolis Facebook page where they were going at each other left and right, and you should have seen Sean Bullock's balls. They were so big. So big. That man has never beaten me, and I'm not that good.
well, how often have you played?
Who, me and Sean? Every time I've seen him, we've played, and I've beaten him every time. And he almost had me at the PTC in Rockford, but I don't know. I guess luck was on my side this time, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, you were playing Spike One and didn't top, so
Yeah, I know. I was bad. I was playing one of those uninspired spikes, I think, to quote you. I think
I don't remember. I know I like threw some shade on that, but I don't really care.
Oh no, you did. You called it uninspired, and I'm gonna agree with that. It was very uninspired. So, anywho, but yeah. Other than that, I know we have UK Nats the week after that, right?
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
I know that like at least a couple people like I'm sure we're not going to be getting Tim Key for like Kevin Broberg because
Yep.
they're shelling out a bunch of money to fly on a plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of nice. Like we'll get at least like a bit of a picture of the new meta. I
Mhm.
hope.
Yeah, I think you should.
So right, we got this PTC. Then the week after we have the
UK Nats.
UK Nats.
Yep.
I think originally there was supposed to be like Turbo World sometime this
Yeah,
month,
they
but
changed that. It's next
what,
year
like
now.
next March.
Yeah, they
So,
changed it because of the format change.
pass never.
Yep, me too.
And then there's the Florida PTC, which I think is early October, but it might be late September. It might be like September
It's one of the
25th.
two.
I'm
That's
not
not
sure.
Davy, is it? Is that Davy? Or is
think
that
it's
last
Tampa.
year?
I don't know.
Oh look.
It's like somewhere in that region. So right, so I mean, we're really gonna have like three like
It's Lakeland, Florida, and it's the
Oh.
first weekend in October.
okay, and then what? U.S. Nats is I think like the 19th, 20th, something like that?
19th through 21st is U.S. Nats. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the thing is, I mean, you're gonna get like tournament next week,
Mhm.
week after that,
A
couple
major.
weeks, you
Yeah.
got Florida, and then you get like U.S. Nats.
Yep.
So we sort of get like some pretty rapid.
And then the Collinsville PTC is the middle of November.
Collinsville.
Yeah,
Where's
it's Dizzy Dugout. That's in Illinois. It's Southern Illinois. It was
right.
Corey's store before Corey quit. So, and that's
Gotcha.
the one that I keep that I don't know. We don't know what's happening yet. That if it's moving or not because they technically don't have a player base.
I mean, if it was moving, they should have announced it by now. So
Yeah.
I would just.
I don't
expect
think.
it
I
to
don't
be-
think. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
And
I'm
is it
hoping
still
it
like a
stays.
really like late year one in like Reno or somewhere out there.
Yeah, Reno's the first weekend in December.
Okay.
That will round out. That will round out.
Maybe we'll have another set out by then, right?
Maybe.
Wink. Dude,
I
we
don't
haven't heard it. I don't think we're getting a set in 2 months, but
No.
we'll see.
I would if we get a set, it won't be until like November or December. I think.
So basically, like
Yep.
2.5 months.
Yeah, 2.5 months. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if we start hearing stuff about it, but I don't
I
know.
mean, it'd be nice to hear something about it,
Mhm.
but
Other than,
let's talk. Like, yeah, but
We know what it is, but
talk about
yep.
MK,
Yeah.
which again like still has not quite had like it's had some locals, had some
Premier Store
stuff
events.
obviously.
Yep.
I did play in one this past weekend. I did not play an MK character.
Ooh, that was your mistake.
But I think you played in one as well too. Right?
Yeah.
Didn't you just play Spike 1 again?
Yeah, I played Spike 1 again. I played in 2. I've played in 2 Premier Store events this last week. But I changed it up, though. I didn't play the Death Spike. I played Insect Puppeteer Spike this time. And it is boring as hell to play. And I'm definitely not going to play that again. So
how'd you do?
I got second in the one in Kenosha. I lost due to tiebreakers. Did I hear
that you ID'd in the final round and then lost the tiebreaker?
No, not ID. No,
you just regular.
Time was called, and they were just doing Swiss rounds, and I didn't really think about it. Well, I was like, do you guys want to play it out? We should have just played it out, because I'm probably going to win. But, no. Lost time.
You realize that's exactly what happened in the Robot Masters event, right?
Yeah.
It's like beforehand, I was like, oh, we should just ID, right? Because I knew my tiebreakers were better, because I didn't have a bye.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, we're just doing Swiss. Like, all right, we'll play it out. And it was just 1-1. And it was 5 minutes left in the round.
And you got beat.
Well, I mean, we could just take the draw, man, because I got the tiebreaker. And they're like, no, we'll play it out. So, like, literally both of us, like, built to deadlock in, like, 3 turns.
Yeah.
And he just had, like, a stupid kill turn
that
killed me with a Navos.
Yeah.
And I was just like...
Yeah. Well, I lost game 1 in finals because I had not seen Spiders the entire time. He had not checked it. He was playing Spike 2. So I knew he had it, but never checked one, whatever. I had a Puppeteer on board, hand cannon in my discard pile. So game's locked. There's no way I'm losing that game, right? I have a second Puppeteer in hand, but no other high blocks. And I'm like, well, if he does Spider my one Puppeteer, or if he has double Spiders, which is a possibility because I haven't seen one yet, I don't have Puppeteer to play. I don't have Puppeteers to play because he's obviously...
What was your life at this point?
I believe I was at 20.
Okay.
At 20.
And how many mid blocks did you have?
2.
Okay.
I had 2. And the Insect Puppeteer in my hand.
Were any of those mid blocks things that drew cards?
No, there were no Templars in my hand that time. No, it was because I was only seeing one attack a turn towards that part of the game, so it was double angels in my hand, double vengeance. Yeah, yep. Why? Because I had already played one because I just kept drawing them, and I can't play a lot. Yeah, we were going. Yeah, and I was trying not to be in deadlock because he had that Jackie Briggs card out. The one where it's R, deadlock R, if your opponent plays a response, cancel it. Like that card. And it gives your tech attacks +1 speed.
What does that do to you?
Revoke. Cancel. Stops revoke. Stops portal barrier. Other things. Yeah.
Don't they have... Is it just literally free cancel?
I think it's destroy. Destroy.
So what do you care about?
I don't know, whatever. But I was like, I should have played the second Insect Puppeteer. And then he
done a lot of things different.
Well, shut up. So he spiders my one Insect Puppeteer and basically kills me, not that turn, but the following turn.
I got you.
And then I turn to him the next game. Yeah, I turned to him. Yeah, I built 5 on my turn 1. I drew 2 angels and a swimming bird. And he only had 1 card in hand, so I went angels to 12. He blocks. Angels to 12.
Did he full block?
No, he partialed. And then,
holy crap!
Yeah, and then I angeled for full 12, and then I swimming bird for death. And,
were you running not over yet in this life deck?
No, I was not. I did not do your memery. Yep. Calm down.
You hurt me, Chris.
I don't hurt you at all. Speaking of which, I did order 2 more not over yets from Rochester CCG to go play my Turbo Man Power Flip deck on Wednesday.
I gotta say, I've messed around with that deck, and I mean, I guess it's fun.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going to play it for fun. I want to draw tons of cards. That's all I care about.
You'll do that?
Yeah, I know. And I'm going to draw tons of cards.
The defense is a little suspect.
Yeah, I figured. So
it's very much all in.
Yeah. No, and that's the whole thing. I want to try it. It looks like it's fun, and that's all I want to do. Is I want to try to go for the dream where you build like all your cards that say don't count towards progressive. You go ahead and play a not over yet, You power flip.
That part's not hard.
No,
I mean, I did that with Cassie. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, and then we had the Rockford one on Wednesday. I played Spike again because I had no other decks built. I just didn't really care, and because I knew I was probably just gonna lose anyways to Quan Chi, which I did, because Quan Chi's broken and I hate him and I want him out of the format. But I picked him for my Rochester CCG character draft, so he needs to win UK Nats first.
Man, I hate Quan Chi, and I was playing Spike 1.
I know. I was playing the Boogeyman. I know. But yeah, if Quan Chi was, I don't know, his character steal, which was like maybe once per turn, or he can't use once per turn effects, I think he'd be a little more palatable. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like Quan Chi. I just don't. And it's just, I don't know. It's just the salt. I just hate it. It's just bad. But yeah, Marco ended up winning. Shout outs to him. He ended up winning he ended up beating Nathan. Nathan went by, win, and then in for finals because we only had 7 people. So, yeah.
Okay.
So he played Cassie, and then he lost to Marco in finals 2-1. Yeah, he played Cassie, yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Yep. It was weird. It was a weird tournament. Like, we had a guy playing Raiden. He didn't have any Vicinity Blast. Didn't ask anybody.
Did everybody play MK?
No.
Okay.
No, our newest player, Ryan, played Metal Man, his Slams deck, and did not have a good time. Because, yeah, Metal Man's not very good right now. So, but anyway.
I transformed some Nutcrackers.
Yeah, but he doesn't own Nutcrackers, so yeah.
I'd borrow some Nutcrackers.
I would loan him some Nutcrackers if he asked, because everyone loves punching people in the nuts. It's fun.
I was able to punch a doggo in the nuts twice in one game.
That's fantastic.
Really satisfying.
That's awesome. That's great. You were like, I get 8 damage because you're both, and I kill you. That's got to be my favorite card out of that. One of my favorite cards out of that set is Nutcracker. Just for flavor. Pure flavor on that card. And it's ridiculously awesome.
We went down, Scott and I, to Gosan, because they also had a Premier Store event.
That was Saturday, right? That was last Saturday?
Yeah. So we sort of like had the option. We were like, well, we can like, drive up to Rochester for the weekend because they were doing like their little...
Oh, the Summer Summit. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like
where Kevin almost died.
The funny part is, like, it actually would have been the same length of drive.
Oh, really?
It just would have been more of a commitment to go to Rochester for the weekend than go on for a day.
Yeah, that's true.
Scott picked me up at about 7 a.m. I was absolutely just exhausted. Because
Surprise.
I had, like, I guess it was, like, so not, like, yesterday, but, like, last week, Thursday, we had a, like, flood at work that was discovered at 4 p.m. And so in getting that in hand, basically didn't get home until about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Jeez.
So, and then like didn't sleep that well on Friday. So then I'm just like awake to go to this thing like.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, again, like this is sort of, I guess, preparation for the PTC weekend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like you leave at like 7 o'clock in the morning. It's technically, I think, anywhere from like a 3.5 to 4.5 hour drive.
Okay.
Typical, like standard. But the thing is like you get on the highway, and your GPS says like it's going to be this long, and you drive for half an hour, and you're like, oh, there's a wreck. Oh, there's congestion. Oh, there's this. And because like you're basically headed towards like the ocean, you start running into like beach traffic. Yeah. It's like the weekend, so you just run into all these people that are like going out for whatever, and it's just awful. Like we had one like a couple weeks ago where it was like the same type of thing where it ended up being like almost a 6-hour drive.
Jesus,
and
that's horrible.
Like, that thing is like the drive to Rochester is long, but it's also on like effectively abandoned roads. It's a little rough this time of year because you get like the Little League World Series, and so sometimes that's like a real hassle going through like Williamsport. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a 5.5 hour drive, but it's a 5.5 hour drive.
Yeah, it's not
like, barring some like absolute catastrophe, like you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're like, yeah, it's like a 4-hour drive, and then it's like a 5.5 hour drive. It sucks.
Yeah.
It doesn't suck for me. I'm asleep most of the time.
Yeah, but, it sucks for Scott because he's driving your sleeping ass around.
So So, so we went down there. I don't actually remember how many people they had. Man, it might have been 17.
Oh
It
wow,
was like a
that's
decent
really
amount.
good.
It was
That's a good amount. I wish I had
don't know for
17.
sure.
Jeez.
But I ended up just playing Iceman.
Did you play Sadistic Ways?
Hmm?
Sadistic Ways, Iceman?
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
that card's sweet.
That card is awesome.
And what did Scott play? He had like a Kotal Khan deck and he hated it, so he took it apart. And I think he just played Jet again.
Oh. Yeah.
So I think my first round, I think it ended up being like 4 rounds.
Okay. Yeah, probably. You have over 16, it's definitely 4 rounds.
So the first round, they had a weird. I'll get to that. So first round, I think I played the Goro, and it was sort of interesting. It's kind of one of those things like, we sort of talked about, like, 40 is not that much. 40 is like a pretty decent amount when, your deck is mostly just kind of like messing around so you get some momentum and then you throw a bunch of multiples.
Yeah.
And even then, like, I don't have a way to pump like a ton of damage. It's like I'll throw on stuff like a +1/+1.
Yeah.
So like 40 damage is a lot to count to when you're doing it in increments of like 4 or 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did manage to win that like 2-1.
Now, did you get to Sadistic Ways anybody with like the extra the extra ratings on the multiples?
Oh, what, like multiple 4?
Yeah.
So against him, I think I had the opportunity, and I kind of like mixed up like the ordering.
Okay.
So it ended up just being 2.
Okay.
I used it a lot more to basically like go to Desperation, just get 2 free momentum, and just get the multiple 2.
Yeah.
And then clear them and play like a different like multiple 2 card.
Yeah.
So let's see, I played him. Then the next round, I played a Devora, and that was interesting. I think he was on all.
Okay.
And I don't know. I guess it was just interesting seeing her because I think you might know, like, she was the character I was probably the most excited about.
Yep.
When like the Mortal Kombat stuff like was first sort of like the characters were shown.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was pretty like disappointed with her support. So, just between that and the fact that she's like the 17 vitality, like I haven't really bothered with her too much.
That's deceptive though. Like her,
I'd like to think it's like I've seen a couple lists where I'm like, like this isn't the worst thing. Like it's sort of just like the theory, like, well, if I do this, and you're like, yeah, I mean, that's not necessarily like a reason. Like, well, in turn 2, when I have 6 attacks and whatever, you're like, well. Yeah, I mean, I'll win too.
I know that there's one card of hers that I've kind of slept on is Ovipositor Charger or whatever that card is. The card's kind of neat. It's not great, but it's kind of neat when you randomly just check them into your discard pile after you play one.
Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, I love checking 2s to play my like 4 or 5.
Yeah, but it's just kind of random.
I did that a lot, to be fair, but
yeah.
Ovipositor to me is just. I think we've talked about it. Like, I would give, like, an arm for it to be just, like, to pick a 4 damage.
A 4 damage attack. Yeah, it's what it really should have been.
You could just play, like, Ovipositor, or you could play, like, an Ovipositor and literally just, like, pick the 4 damage move at a discard pile that you want.
Might have been.
I mean, if it was that, I'd be all in.
Well, yeah, because, like, you just pick her splat, and then you just.
I mean, you can pick her splat, or you can pick something else. It's just, like. Sort of depends.
Why?
Like maybe
you just pick her splat and your next card's narrows progressive at the end of a string. It's pretty good.
Or you could be like have the opportunity where you're like playing it like second or third and like they're using up the last card in your hand. You could be like, oh, well, I'm going to play that Scourge.
Yeah.
It's going to be 1 billion damage.
Yeah, that's also
so.
True.
I mean, there's things to do. I mean, there was something else. I don't know, but like she's all right, and I think she has a couple lineups that aren't terrible. Like he was on all, and wasn't he? What did he?
I really think I'd like her off of life more, personally.
Maybe he was on life.
Because you get Urban Shower.
You know, 'cause he was, you know what, he was playing some Spike 2 stuff, so he must have been on life.
Okay.
I just thought.
Yeah, Urban Shower is really good in her. So I would.
Yeah, I mean Urban Shower. So that was the thing. It's like that was a game that went like 2-1 also.
Okay.
And the reason it went 2-1 is because the one that he won, I think I had like one low block, and I feel like I played it or something. I think it was like a foundation. I was like, I'm gonna play this.
Oh, did you get bopped by Urban Shower?
Or maybe I had two low blocks and I played one of them.
Yeah.
And he literally just goes like, low attack, low attack, low attack, low attack, low attack, and I was just like,
rough. Was he playing her one?
You know, I could have blocked like one.
Was he playing her 1-4 diff? It's like a 1-4, you gain vitality or some shit like that?
Yeah, like that. There were two of those in there.
Oh, yeah. That Trent gets me that card all the time.
Like a Swordfish Gunfire and like, you know, two copies of like Urban Shower.
Oh, God,
like,
yeah.
It was just like, it didn't stop.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know, and like by the 4th or 5th, I was just like,
I'm done.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was like, I knew you had one, but.
Yeah. Me and Trent were playing around, and I was playing. I forget what I was playing. Maybe I was playing Liu Kang, and he was playing Devora, and I did that. I built one of the 2 low blocks in my hand, and he shits out like 4 low attacks with like a Scourge at the end of it, and I'm like, oh, this is great. So I'm like, he's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely running Scourge. That was something too, is like he hit me like the first game with a Scourge that did a ton of damage.
Yeah, it definitely can do tons of damage.
And I was just like, it's cool. I was like, I'm not dead, but okay. Like, I definitely need to at least like keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye out for it. Yeah.
But yeah, like honestly, that was sort of like, I guess, like a little bit of the theme of the weekend is like just seeing some cards where I was just like not high on them and just being like, well, you know, I don't think it necessarily like completely changed my opinion on most of the stuff, but there were at least cards where I was like, you know, okay, like, I'll take a second look at it.
Yeah.
I think 3rd round I played Vega, and
is that William?
Like, yeah, he's the one that ended up winning.
Yeah.
It was just kind of the thing where it's like we're both playing like evil decks, and I'm playing a deck that wants to attack a lot.
And he's really good, and he's in desperation.
It's a deck that you want to attack as little as possible.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the best matchup. I felt like I was in an okay shape, like post sideboard, because then I had like 4 Hellgate Executioners.
Oh, sure.
And I did get one of those off, and he didn't have a revoke. So that effectively like shut his character down. But the issue was that I basically took him to like 9.
That's rough.
Attacks, which is pretty much the worst thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
There was just like I didn't have control over it. It was something where I like threw the attack and didn't pump it at all, and like I had poked him like earlier for like 4.
Yeah.
And so like he took it and just went to exactly desperation. And so so the +1 was like just enough that I like couldn't like I think I had the card that was going to kill him, and I just had to check better and didn't.
Yeah.
And then he didn't kill me the next
turn,
but it was just kind of something where it was like I never had the opportunity again after that. Which I think you have a lot against Vega. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like when you have that opening, you need to take full advantage of it, and if you don't, and he gets to basically like reset, like you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that was all right. I guess like after that, so that was when I found out. So I guess what software do you guys use?
We use the Jasco software.
Now, how do you report?
What do you mean? As in like wins or losses and that?
Wins, losses, draws. How do you report?
It's wins, losses, or draws or buys. That's it. There's no game count or anything.
See, so they had this thing, and like it's not like a radio button, right? So I don't know if it's the settings on there, if it's something old or what. But so they report stuff as either like 2-0, 2-1, whatever. Yeah. And so the thing is the way it effectively works is you get a win per game. So draws that are 1-1, each person gets a point.
Yeah.
If you lose 2-0, you get no points. If you lose 2-1, you get 1 point.
You get 1 point.
Because they basically put in like 2-1, 2 whatever. And so like that's why I was wondering. I don't know if you guys like if you're supposed to report all wins like 3-0 so they get the points. Like that's the thing. So basically we were like looking.
Well, that's set up in their system. Like you can go into because Shane showed me for the Rockford PTC. You can actually go into the settings and set it up as 3-1 or 0.
So you basically set that in the thing to give points?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I guess that's it. I guess maybe their stuff isn't configured properly or whatever.
And
like,
are they using?
We were just talking about it. We were like, look, like we aren't going to worry about like changing it now.
Yeah.
because like that didn't even occur to me either at the time, where it was like winners got 2 points. So basically, the whole standings were really compressed.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I figure like there's gonna be someone from Jasco there for the PTC, so
Yeah,
like it'll definitely get sorted.
Yeah,
and
it
if
will.
not, like
It
there's
will.
definitely workarounds for it.
If they're not using the Jasco software,
It is.
Is
It's
it?
the yeah.
Oh yeah, then they messed with the settings or something, because I just do wins and losses. That's all I do.
Right. But I'm saying like maybe like however it came.
Yeah.
Like there's something you need to do to set it. I don't know.
Oh, I understand.
It.
Yeah.
I haven't run like an event, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But that was sort of like a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth round, I basically had a match against Wes. He was playing Sub-Zero.
Okay.
And like I guess his record was just bad, and he's like, dude, my deck sucks. Like I have no chance of topping. Like, how about I just give you the win and we'll just like play like a casual or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm not one to turn down charity.
Yeah.
So sure.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing, I ended up playing this other guy's Cassie deck against his, I think, Ed 9.
Sure.
And that was all right. He basically was just like, here's this Cassie deck, like, give me some notes. I was like,
Oh, that's
right.
cool. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess she basically played the way I expected her to play.
Yeah, struggle.
Well, the issue is more like, she can throw like one or two like really, really big attacks, but she kind of has similar problems to like Turbo Man, where her attack strings first of all, they're super check dependent. Like if you're trying to pay this like attack at the end of your string and you check bad, like you either fail it or you are completely open to get like crushed. And like, she can either, obviously she can give speed or damage. Resets, especially speed resets, are going to be brutal. But the issue is more like she just has to invest so many cards from her hand to make an attack, like to make her stuff work. If she doesn't have like an akimbo or something, it's so easy to go into a turn with like literally like one or two cards in hand, and you don't even feel, and you basically feel like you threw like one attack. So like hand management's pretty difficult. And I had at least I had one time where I like didn't even forgot that her E even existed, like the one to like change your card pool and everything, because it was just like,
why?
It was just like I didn't want to I didn't have anything that I could add to my card pool that would like not count as progressive, and like I had nothing that was committed. It was just like not an optimal time to be using it. And then like additionally, like I had another time.
You could use her E and not add anything.
Exactly. I had one time I added something to there. I revealed the top three, and it's like 2 attacks and an action.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
The other thing too is like obviously when you're adding stuff, like it doesn't come back. I feel like she could really, really use something like Rescuer.
Yeah, I agree.
Like or even like an attack. Obviously Nutcracker like adds something and it doesn't, and like you get to draw a card.
Yeah, why couldn't you just add that?
Something that doesn't count aggressive.
Like, was it Guile has a card? He has Flash Kick, right? Where it comes face down after you add it. Why couldn't you have done that?
It would have been nice if she had something that did something like that, where it added it and like you at least got it. Even if it's face down, if it's something.
Still something.
Like, or maybe if like the card that she added to your card pool would come back down, but like face down.
Yeah.
Like she just needs a way to like not quite.
Not
build herself so much and like also put herself. That's the thing is like you're adding stuff to your card pool that like basically counts to progressive unless it's one of like 2 or 3 cards.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're taking away resources to pass checks and making your checks harder while you do it.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, like when I saw her, I was very disappointed because she's my favorite character from 10, and like I think she's fun. Like casually, she's fun to mess around with.
Like the thing, there's nothing wrong with like you throw huge attacks. You're just like throwing stuff out there.
It's fun.
So like that was the thing. So I played the first game, and for the second game, I was basically just like looking through, and I was like, all right, take out 4 of anything, and you need to get like Season Guide in here.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he just had the sense of morals and like didn't have the season guide yet. And I was like, you're on all, like, this needs to be in here. You need to have 8 cards that don't count as progressive.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have, especially like something like that, adding that with Nutcracker, adding it with Cassie, that you get to like look at your checks. Like, you know, it should be in there.
Yeah.
So we had that, and then I think he was like running. Like, he was running some foundations from the Mega Man tin that I think were mostly for, like, the blocks. The one that was, like, the +1 mid and then, like, Naivete for, like, the +2 low. And I was like, dude, you're running Naivete, but you're not running Fallen Angels.
Oh, yeah, you kind of need to run Fallen Angels.
Yeah, I was like, you could run a 0 diff that has a +2 low block. And has the effect when you play it, look at the top card of your deck.
You can discard it.
Instead of a
blank card.
1 diff with a +2 low block that does nothing.
I'm having.
So, hold on.
Oh no! So I just want to
interrupt changes to the deck.
Okay, go ahead.
And the first game, I'm going second, and I just go non-progressive, like non-progressive, not over yet, foundation. Like, Fallen Angels, reveal a 5, play like a power flip, build everything, smack a guy for $1 billion, and have no cards in hand, and just go, what's up?
On turn 1? That's awesome.
Turn 1, going second.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, hope you drew some attacks.
I'm having Barry Everson on for a deck profile, and he said that one of his big MVPs in his Cassie deck is that sent you something. It's the one Yamato Man. After you play it, you get +2 to your next check. So he says that card's pretty good because if you end your, say you go non-prog, not over yet, foundation, that card, and then you get +2 to your check. So it doesn't even matter if you check a 3 or not. You're gonna check a 5 and you pass your power flip or whatever. Because I'm gonna add that to the Turbo Man deck and do that with Scorch Wheels.
That was something that's like. I considered.
Yeah.
I just without having played it, I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
But
sure.
I guess especially after I'm not over yet, that would be pretty good. And again, that helps with sort of what we're talking about, which is
passive checks because she needs help big time.
Yeah. Actually, the other card too that I was actually somewhat impressed by. I don't really know. I guess you run it in Cassie. I don't know if you run it in really anyone else.
Yeah.
Was Glow Kick. I was
Glow Kick's sweet, dude.
But
I like that card,
dude. So that was the other one. I was playing against the guy the same set.
Yeah.
And I think he was at 3 or 4 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I draw my hand. I did have 2 attacks.
Yeah.
But he was like, well, he had his fun. And it's like, I think I can block 1 attack. So you have to have 2. And I was like, really? Okay. So I did the same thing. I literally played all the foundations of my hand and a not over yet, and played Glow Kick and just added something else and comboed it, and I think it was ended up being 17 or 18 speed.
Sweet.
And and some amount of damage, and it was just still think you can block this.
What I like doing with that card is when you reveal with Cassie and you're able to stack an attack on top, and you're just whoop,
so that's actually that's the thing is it is really good with Cassie. You can you can play it first and then add the foundation, look at the top 3, figure out what you want, and you either obviously add a foundation or you you basically set up something where you know what you're gonna draw. That's the thing. It's good for Cassie for sure. Again, I just don't know if you really play it for anybody else.
I don't think so.
I guess on all it's fine if you have Merciless Master or something.
Yeah,
you
I guess so.
Stack an attack. Oh look.
Yeah. Ooh.
But that whole combo
foundation kind of rough. Yeah.
I told him too. I was suggested maybe he it's got a 2 check, but Hydrofork seems something that would be really up Cassie's alley.
That seems like that's something someone else is also I think Reese. I've been talking about Cassie with some people, and they brought up Hydrofork with her because she needs some more damage.
The thing is too is because of her E. Is her E you add it to the start or you add it anywhere?
You add it to the start. It's not any place.
I got you. I was thinking it was Nutcracker or whatever, where you could add it in any order.
Any order, yeah.
But I like that thing is I think there's probably ways that you can basically add it or which one is it? Is it her other foundation then? That the leading the team or whatever, the one family legacy.
Carrying the legacy? Yeah, that one you can I think that one you just swap spots. I mean, I'll look it up. Go ahead. You can keep talking.
Like that's things. I think she has something where you can effectively like set it up. I mean, that one might just be add it and then like bring something down. In which case, you literally just like play a curse splat or something and add it, pull down something you added before, and then play the hydrofork afterwards. So
add this card to your card pool. Add one other foundation to your card
pool. So basically,
pool.
add to your card pool so it goes at the end.
Yeah.
So the thing about that is like, right, if you play basically like if you play a curse splat or like some other thing that's going to help your next check happen, and then you can first of all you can commit that.
Yep.
For the curse splat,
and then you
add
bring
it to
it
your
up,
card pool,
and then
bring down something else, and then play like the hydrofork afterwards. So like I mean, there's definitely like some cool stuff you can do. It's more just like it's kind of one of those decks where it's like you're doing cool stuff and you're working real hard to do it.
Yeah, that's why I think she. It's really hard. I don't want to say she needs another set, but she may need another set to actually like.
Maybe. I mean, there's like other things too. Yeah. I mean, I just don't know quite what your options are. I guess. Yeah. Like so, like for instance, like another thing. I don't know how many. I think the only combo she has is like glow kick, but you could use the Jetta Foundation. That's like F commit, discard a momentum. Like your next combo ignores progressive.
Oh, yeah.
So like, I mean, there's definitely like tools because that's on good. I mean, there's definitely tools for her. It's just kind of like how you're doing it. Like, you know, it's just kind of like figuring out like exactly like what it is you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, again, like we sort of talk about like how much she would have liked the Terry stuff, and not even just obviously
just Champion of Southtown alone.
But, right, like Champion of Southtown would have been good. I mean, really, that's the biggest one.
Oh, was it One Man Wolfpack was the one that didn't count when you played attacks?
Didn't count attacks, yeah, like the zero diff.
The zero diff.
And she had another one that was like effectively they reprinted with the one that goes up and adds that back. Yeah. Was you basically destroyed to bring down a foundation.
Oh yeah, there was cheerful and friendly.
Even something like what was the old Joe card? It was like the 3 or 4 diff or something. Ladies Man.
Oh, Ladies Man was fantastic.
Which was like right. It was like when it was in your card pool. If like your attack, I think like dealt damage,
you ready
like,
to foundation.
Ready a foundation that hasn't been like ready this turn, and like something like that, like something that I mean, she got basically like whatever that the one that's like the one diff that like makes their black mods +1.
Oh yeah,
like that's not bad, but you know, I mean that's
could have used better.
You don't want all her stuff to just be like dot count progressive and throw in whatever you want, but like. It would have been nice to have like just a little more tools.
Like maybe like your next attack, like after you play this card, your next attack it's +1 to its check or something like that.
I mean, like she'll blow some people out.
Oh yeah,
like
she can.
I mean, you can easily have like a turn, turn 1 basically, like going second, where your opponent like builds 3 or 4 foundations and you just throw like a 9 speed, like 15 damage move, and they just go.
Okay. Yeah, and then you.
And then but then the thing is like okay, and then you just need to do it like one more time.
Yeah, and then they're set up, and you can't do it ever again. Yeah. So did you end up in top 8 then?
So it only cut to top 4.
Oh,
and
top 4?
I ended up, I think 4th.
Okay.
I got to play the Goro again.
Okay.
And we actually had like some really tight matches. What it ended up coming down to in the game 3, I was at like 9 or 10. I really wasn't gonna like survive another turn. And I basically had like I had no attacks with stun, and I didn't have a Robot Masters out. And he had 1 cob, and like didn't have like anything with stuns, didn't have Outworld, like Eris. So like really like nothing to do with foundations, and he had the Shokan Prince or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's like basically like the games that I lost were like Shokan Prince and Vega, which is just like
+1 to check.
Breaker 1.
Yeah, Breaker 1.
So
yeah.
I went with the what's it called? Melina's attack.
Sadistic Ways.
Sadistic Ways, got momentum. Was in desperation, got like multiple 2. Did that, committed, got the momentum back. I think that put me at like 3. I played a plant barrier and got a 4th momentum, and then played another sadistic ways, which I guess was on a 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 4 ready foundations. He, at that point, let's see, so those were all, it would have been 5 attacks at 4. I think he was at like 18.
And then you check a 2.
So I had around 20-ish cards left in my deck, and only 2 of them were 2 checks, and I checked one of them.
Oh, that's rough.
He had no cards in hand. Like literally, all I had to do was like check a 3.
Check a 3 and you win. Yeah.
And I was running about 15 or 16 2 checks, so it's kind of like did it to myself. Yeah. But also, they're all really good cards.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
But yeah, it was just it was rough. But I think it was just kind of like that. I think that was the only opportunity I had all day that I was going to be able to actually do like the multiple 4. I was.
You had to go for it,
like,
dude.
Kind of mathing it out, and I'm just like, oh wait, if I check a 2, he's like, check a 2.
Oh, he said it and it happened. That's rough. That's even worse.
But yeah, I mean,
it's okay. You didn't want that block on Matt anyways.
He was running kind of like a little bit weird. He was running a very sort of like, I guess, like tech heavy Goro. I think he was on fire. He was just running like a lot of like 2 of this, 2 of that. He was running like 2 dragon flares.
Mm-hmm.
He was running Punch and Judy. He was running some Test Your Mites. He was running like multiple copies of Ancestral Quiver, which was actually brutal. The one time we played where he kept getting it back every turn and discarding all my momentum.
Oh wow!
And
okay,
basically, like I had to get the Kodokan Foundation out to stop it.
Oh yeah.
Because there was just nothing I could do.
Yeah.
What he mostly did is he would get Shokan Grab and just pump it to like a billion damage.
Yeah. That's what Tyler's version does now. Instead of playing Coffee Samba every turn, he just Shokan grabs you every turn.
Yeah, I mean Goro's interesting. Like I didn't feel like terribly like well set up for the matchup. But I think he has very sort of like specific stress points that if you can hit them, like you're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I
have a question for you. I have a question.
You'll at least have like a pretty like good path to victory. I think the biggest thing is like if you can either flip his foundations or like destroy them or something, like that's what you need to do. Is like if he can't just like pick 4 cards, I mean you can still die. I mean he can still draw a good hand out of his deck, but that's the biggest thing. I mean, I think someone like Vicious, I think like even somebody else running like kind of like
Spiders.
Tim Keefe's like Jet deck.
Yeah.
Was running Spinning Pile Driver.
Spinning Pile Driver.
Like War for Armageddon.
Yep.
Like stuff like that you can like make them flip stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or anything that's like destruction. Like that thing is like there were plenty of times where he would have like 1 or 2 like face up foundations, and if I could have gotten rid of them, I mean I would do it sometimes. I would get rid of like one of them with the Outworld Mistress or Outworld Eris.
Eris, yeah.
Just to basically like hopefully get him down like another turn. Because that thing is once Goro like has 3 or 4 foundations, like he doesn't really build foundations anymore.
No.
Like he's basically just getting like 2 or 3 attacks and like whatever else he wants. Maybe he'll get 1 foundation and like play at that turn. But
so he can flip the next.
It's a lot of just like getting attacks.
Now I have a question for you because Tyler was playing Goro and he says you can't overcommit to pay. Now, say like you have 4 found. Do you have to have? Because each count for 2 when you commit, right? For Goro. So now say hey, knock it off, dude. Say like you play a card and you need like a 7 and you have all face downs. Mm-hmm. I guess it doesn't work. Well,
so okay, let's
what I'm saying? It's kind of like the whole.
If you're playing something that's a 6 diff and you check a 5.
Yeah. Now and you don't and say Goro's committed for some random reason and you have all nothing but face downs.
No, you can commit a face down.
Okay, so you can over. It's not considered overpaying then.
No, because it's the same as Sasquatch's.
Yeah, because I thought you couldn't overpay with that.
No, you can.
Okay.
I think there was some weird rule where they were like, oh, well, what about this? And effectively, like, there's something in the LGR to that effect.
Okay.
I don't have it like with me right now, but like you're fine with that. Like basically, you can't do something where you're like. So here's the thing. Like, let's say let's say you need a 6, right?
Yeah.
And you check like a 4, you couldn't commit like a face down and a face up.
Okay.
But if you're at like 6 and you check like a 5, or if you need a 6 and you check a 5, and you have like a face up and a face down, or you have face downs and Goro, like you can still commit a face down. You don't have to pay just one.
Okay.
To pass the check. You can commit a face down. You're fine.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because he says, well, I can't overpay, so he would commit Goro because of that.
No, I got you. Like, I mean, that's not crazy because like that definitely was something that I think was like sort of floating around like a couple sets ago.
Yeah.
But they definitely did address it in basically those specific instances where like foundations counted as more than one.
Okay. But then, so it's still not considered overpaying.
Like, it's still something where it's like, if you need a 5 and check a 4, you can't just be like, well, I'm going to commit my whole staging area, haha.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't work.
Yeah,
But,
okay. Okay, cool.
But no, like, you can overpay by, like, 1 if all you have is, like, face down.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, because I'll let him know, because I think that might... It didn't change anything in our matchup, because he still beat me, but this was like a month ago. He doesn't play Goro because he feels it's an MPE for everybody because it's Coffee Samba, and I'm just like...
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Like,
I mean, I didn't really have, like, that much of a problem with him. Like,
I don't care.
Like that,
He's a four-hander, man. I don't give a crap. It's just fun playing against him because he has 40 health, and you just gotta try to burn him down, and it's fun. So
yeah, I mean, that was the thing. I mean, his 40 health was more respectable, and I kind of gave it credit for. Sure. Part of that was, like, again, like, just deck. Like, he had a lot of turns where he just went 0 cards in hand and went,
come at me, bro.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And, you know, you still have to draw attacks.
Yes, you do. You do.
But, right, you know, like somebody that's running, like you know, cats or a damage pump or something like that, you know, right, something like a spike who's just like, I'll just play this vengeance and make it 12 and then put some other stuff on it. Like, those are going to be, like, less of a problem. But, yeah, I mean, he definitely still has, like, some teeth. It's just kind of like being alive long enough.
Yep.
He pulled off a fatality win against somebody that was fucking awesome.
That is fantastic.
So he basically played like the Shokan throw.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember if he like used his form to pick everything up or what. I think the guy like forgot how like fatality like worked. And, you know, was just thinking like the hoops that it went through, like it was just like more for like momentum or something.
Yeah. And
so basically he played the throw, and the person had like some foundation. What's the one that seals like earth and stuff? Formidable Task.
Formidable Task does that, yeah.
But they were at like 20 something, and they were just like, I mean, this throw's pretty big, but I can like partial it and like not be dead. So
they partial it.
So they blocked it. Then they goes into desperation. They're at 11 foundations, and the guy plays a fatality, doesn't clear it, and they're like, "You don't want momentum?" He's like, "No." Plays the next one, and goes,
Bravo.
"I win." And they're just like, man, I'm really bad.
Bravo. That's awesome, dude.
So that was, like, I mean, he was definitely gunning for a fatality win against me at one point.
Yeah.
And I think that was the thing is I basically had to keep an eye on it because, like, I would often go to dead. Like, I know one game against him, man, like, I had multiple turns where I literally just drew like 6 foundations.
Oh,
and,
that's rough.
You know, I can't just sit there, so like I gotta play them, and then it's more about like just staying above desperation to not get fatality.
Yeah. And
I think he also maybe only had 1 in his discard pile at the time, so it was just like every time he did anything, it was just checking to see if there was another one in there yet. Because there's not a ton you can do about it at that point, you know, but it's more just like there's nothing, like I can't just sit here and review foundations one at a time.
Yeah, true. It'd just take you forever.
Well, because I'll just die.
You die too.
It's like I need to play these foundations so that I can hopefully draw attacks.
Yeah, that's also true.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was fun. I was 1 check away from making finals with Iceman, and I probably would have just lost to Vega again.
Did that happen last time too?
Did
that happen last time? Did you go to another Premier Store event and do that? You didn't play Iceman.
No, I played. No,
That was
I did
somewhere
not play
else.
Iceman at that. I played like the Anacharis and
Oh,
just had him.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you were just trying to meme people.
Yeah. That was the one where they were like, "You drove 5 hours for this."
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was like, "I didn't drive. I rode." But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that like once the sort of like beach season's over, maybe the drives will be.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay.
So
you want to move on to our, what else we got? We pretty much talked about everything, right? And then now we have our My Hero Academia spoiler for the show.
If you guys have been seeing, Chris has had some spoilers up on Facebook, some little teases that none of which are final.
Nothing's final,
sure
man.
That the cards have changed just since we started talking about them, but
Yep. Yeah, everything. It's a fluid set so far. It's pretty fluid. Everything's pretty much staying as close as to you'll see like a card like Midoriya. He still has the same type of theme, but the abilities change, numbers change, stuff like that, because we're trying to balance the set out for everybody, not just us. So, and that's a big thing. So, the card we have for you
it's
guys.
It's a hard thing, is what it is.
What?
I said it's a hard thing.
Oh God, it's much more difficult. I knew it was hard. I didn't think it was this hard. It's pretty tough. So hopefully we really want. I don't think the set will be out by Nats, so unfortunately I doubt that. But maybe we'll have characters to put out.
That'd be cool. I think that'd be nice to do like a little side event.
Yeah, like just I think we might just do just characters, and
that might be rough though, man. I mean, you're talking at this point. What, you're basically like a month and a half out.
Yeah,
so.
it's gonna be super. Maybe we'll just put out the characters. We're comfortable with.
You could always do it like the old the Battle for Power promos, dude.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
And you could just be like, "Hey, this is what they are right now, subject to change.
Let's try them." Yeah, that might be an idea.
Put out the Napalm Man that attaches cards to their opponent's cards, and what did Yamato Man do?
He drew cards. If you're he was actually a 9-hander.
Already then committed, you like draw like 2 cards.
2 cards. He was a 9-hander. Yeah.
Didn't he only give speed too?
Correct. He only gave speed. Yeah. But he drew 2 cards at the beginning of your end phase.
Well, but that was the other thing too, is he had no commit either. Yeah. He was weird. I don't know. The new one's better.
The new one's way better. Yes. So the card is a foundation. It's called the Quirkless and the Mighty. It is a 3/5 non-block, unique. Has three abilities, because everybody loves cards with 3 abilities. I don't know if Rob really does, but I don't care. First one is E. This attack gets -1 damage or stun 1. The second ability, the picture on the screen is wrong, but it will be once per turn. Discard 1 momentum. Commit 1 of your opponent's assets or foundations. Because that's important. It can't be every enhance, because that would just be ridiculous. Because Iceman would just tear people apart with that. And because you get all the momentum, and then at the end
Iceman? I think you mean Plant Man.
Plant Man too, yeah. Because Iceman has all 2, so he could get momentum somehow. But whatever. And then F for move. Search your deck or discard pile for 1 copy of All for One and add it to your hand. So All for One has maybe been slightly spoiled. It's just a block. It's a block with an extra ability on it that gives you momentum. So. So and the art for All for One's really sweet.
You see, now that's what we call in the business a tease. You got the card that's referencing another card, but you're not going to tell them what that card does. Yeah, that's just like stage kill, right? Oh yes. When they showed the pit, like, you get stage kill, but I don't know what stage kill.
And then everyone's like, it sucks. So. So it's just like a utility card from Midoriya. So I don't know. It wasn't unique to begin with, and then it didn't have 3 abilities on it also. So and then I was like, well, it's my only non-block in the foundation slot, and it's a 3/5. So let's try out with 3 abilities and see what happens. So
yeah, I mean the momentum one sounds pretty good. Yeah. I mean targeted committal is always good. Obviously like reusable as well. Mm-hmm. What I like to do too, especially like with fan cards, I like to try to like at least find something like that's somewhat comparable. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like the momentum cost is probably like a decent one. Mm-hmm. It's like a little harder to pay, a little more like advanced. But and especially I feel like these symbols, like other than maybe like Plant Man or something, like I don't know how much like really snap momentum there is, especially like Order and Life and stuff. But The one, I guess, like the one with, what was it, -1 damage and stun one?
Yeah, -1 damage or stun 1. I'm thinking it may become -1 damage and stun 1, so it's just, so you just can't just perpetually...
Well, so, I mean, effectively at that point, it's kind of like -1 and +1 speed, but it just, like, scales better. Well, sort of. You know, it's more just, like, it adds up, like, over the turn.
Yeah, over the turn.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's I guess that's interesting because it's this. So, like, I guess that's sort of an interesting thing, too, is, like, if it's not or, you could be, like, giving your opponent -1 damage, but then also giving their attack stun
1. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something. I mean, especially it depends on your. I guess it depends on your symbol. I mean, for something like, right, if you're playing like all or something like that, and you have like a sense of morals, you're just like, I'll give you stun.
Yeah, exactly.
I dare you to use it.
Yeah. He also has a card. It hasn't been spoiled, but it also if your opponent commits a card in your staging area, it's flipped, and then they commit a card. So it's kind of like the Kotal Khan 1/5 after, you know.
I was gonna say it's kind of like what's the lightning judgment?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
That's the attack. Yeah. Whatever the one is, like the.
No, I'm talking about
Ulrich has
card. It's similar to that.
Like that.
Yeah, it's very similar. It's on a. It's also that's on a 2/4 with a low block. The one that I made for Midoriya, and it also has destroy, shuffle all copies of All for One from your discard pile into your deck, so you could reuse them. So because it's All for One and it's fantastic and awesome. Gotcha. So it's a card that you would like to use. I run 2 or 3 of them in my Midoriya deck because it's an awesome card. So but yeah, so this is. It's a hard process so far, so I'll give the playtest guys and people who playtest for other games a lot of props, man. This stuff is difficult because we've had so many arguments this week about just balancing cards, and
I gotta say, I mean, honestly, like tough. part of that is gonna be because you guys are the testers and the designers.
Yeah.
Ideally, those are like separate roles.
Exactly.
And like, you know, what it comes down to is, you know, you have the designers where their job is basically just to be like,
here you go,
you know, make crazy stuff, make fun stuff, do whatever, you know, do whatever, and then you get like the play testers, or like I think it's design and like development. So you sort of get like the developers, and their job is more to provide the feedback and basically just come back and just be like, this is good, this sucks, this is broken, like this, you know, and like it's not even then like. The thing is, like, ideally, like, you don't even necessarily, like, suggest changes. You're more just saying, you're just giving feedback. Wrong. You're just saying, like, this works, this doesn't.
I would, honestly, I would love to do that. If there are any people in the community, which I've already been approached by many, if they would like to if they'd like to playtest a character with their support.
So you know what you could do, right? You know, if you want to get the playtest, but not give away all the the art and the you know the names,
you just give them the text file.
You just make them blank cards.
Oh, that's also true.
With like card A or something.
There you go. Yeah, because if we want this stuff out fast, it would be best to maybe get a few extra hands in. So. You can comment or PM me or whatever on Facebook, and we'll figure it out. I already know a few people want to just play with the cards as they are now, and then make suggestions to us later, which is fine. Anything that's we put up is free to use. We're not charging for any of it. We're doing this because we love both properties. So, and who knows if we're able to actually officially get it into Jasco UFS, because it's.
Well, I mean,
why not?
If My Hero Academia gets in, I'm pretty sure these cards will not be the ones that are officially.
Oh God, no! But one can dream, though. One can dream.
There you go.
One can dream. But yeah, so that I'll put that out there. Yeah, if anyone's really interested in helping out, we can figure out somehow to get you a character or two with their support. We have support designed. It's just not. Marco is a one-man art team, so he's just plugging away as he can. So I think we have Bakugo done, Uraraka done, Midoriya, Shigaraki, Fumikage, Shoto, Todoroki. I have Asui's cards done, but they're not templated. Yazurozu's cards aren't templated yet. And then there's a couple other characters that the cards are... Tenya, the fast, speedy guy, his cards are done. No, his support's done, just not templated yet. So, that's the template that Marco came up with.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing is like the template definitely looks really good.
Yeah. And he spent a lot of time on that, and I know a lot of people are asking for it, and he's trying to clean it up to make it look as good as possible for people, so please give him time. He's trying to get the cards made for us and get the template out for you guys as soon as he can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys, I really want this thing to be successful and fun, and I want to involve the community in making the cards by getting feedback, so your feedback is appreciated. Constructive feedback. We don't need to know that the card's bad. We already know that most of these cards are bad already, so we're going to try to make them better, and we're trying to kind of do, not like the way Jasco tests is they do everything broken and then they bring it down. We're trying to not break it, but try to make it just powerful enough to like in that Bebop to MK range where it's not cats. And
yeah,
it's
I mean,
not
it's
the
sort of a fine
blast.
line.
You know,
like,
it's a, like I've changed Midoriya 4 times, so because he's just too good, and I keep every version. It's just like, well, I'm throwing 9 mid 27 30 damage Vicinity Blast as my 4th attack, so I just don't know if that's Vicinity Blast or if it's him or if it's.
I mean, like card. I don't know, like I might have said this to you or not, but like the thing is like when you look at stuff, like that's why I like to say, you know, like looking at like existing cards.
Yeah.
Because if you just like look at like Midoriya as he is, like even with his stats, like you know if you compare him to somebody like Ava 2 Dot or like Dave Wagner, I mean you know he gave 1/1 instead of like 2/2, but you know it's still going to be like close, especially if you know if he has Robot Masters, like he's giving like basically 1/2 to everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't, you know, there's some other ones that I'm just like they're you know escaping me at the moment. I mean. You know, those characters are fine. I mean, you know, some of them were pretty good. I mean, I guess like Spike 1 is another one where, I mean, his abilities like aren't really the problem. It's more his like vitality. You know, in fact, he has like 24.
Yeah, 24.
But I mean, Vicious puts like 2 damage on pretty much every attack. So like, there's a lot of stuff where I don't think it's necessarily the stats that are a problem. You know, so I think like if you can take a card and like basically compare it to something that exists and is not problematic, then you kind of have to go back and go, okay, well, if the ability sort of like compares to this and like these aren't like really an issue, so then what is the issue? Like you gotta dig a little deeper and be like, is it like the support cards? Is it
and I think
attacks?
That's what it is.
Is it like, you know, is it sort of like a certain combination of cards that like kind of when they all come together? So like I guess that's sort of like more of the fine tuning at that point. So yeah, I mean it's definitely not easy.
No, it's very difficult, but it's fun though. I'm having
I guess like the thing is if you're like, okay, I'm throwing like a 29 damage like attack, well, Midoriya only has 2/2. So you know where's the other 27 coming from?
Yeah, exactly. And I know where it's coming from, and it's being fixed. So hopefully we get it. Hopefully we get this all squashed, and I can move on to Bakugo because he's the guy I'm really excited to play. I really like his stuff. So, so I think other than that, I think that's all we got for this week, right?
I think so.
I do want to say we have had a lot of subscribers to the Rockford UFS channel lately, and I appreciate that. And we want to thank you guys for subscribing. I think we're like at 230 something. So closer we get to 250, maybe we'll do a giveaway. Maybe like an MK box or a turbo box or something if we get 250 subscribers. So get your friends, like, comment, subscribe, you know, all that fun stuff. There'll be pop-ups and windows all the time through all the content. I just edit the stuff. I don't usually watch our shows. So I know Rob goes back and watches and take notes, so he is better for the next one. So, but other than that, I don't have anything else. I know Rob has a wedding tomorrow, so he probably has to go to sleep soon. So.
I do. Yeah.
But everyone, thanks for watching. Again, if you want to join the MHA stuff, let me PM me. I'll talk it over with the team. We'll figure it out. Even if we just give you characters, then you guys can play with existing stuff, and that helps us out because we don't have to test existing stuff. So. Oh,
I mean, you should be doing that too.
Well, we are. I'm just not testing with support. I'm not. I do want to post my Midoriya deck probably tomorrow. I'll probably post that on the Rockford page tomorrow. So, which will be the time of recording tomorrow.
Yeah, right. So basically, you know, that Midoriya list that he posted like 3 days ago, like that one.
That one, yes, that one. So this show will go up Monday, so we'll post it Tuesday. Was what I'll do that. So the show will go up Monday. So
okay.
All right. So everyone, you guys all have a good night, and I'll talk to you later, Rob.
All right.
Have a good one.